Are the Knicks and Julius Randle headed towards a bad breakup? New York Post columnist Ian O'Connor wrote about this, and Ian joins us now. Ian, you wrote that Julius Randle has went from being the toast of the town to a guy whose Knicks career could soon be toast. Are we seeing the last days of Julius Randle as a Knick?
It's possible, Brandon. I would think it's more likely maybe a deal is made in the offseason than next month, but he is eligible to be traded February 3rd. And right now he is, as I wrote in the Post, playing his way out of town. I've been covering sports in this market for the better part of 35 years, and I don't remember the last time I've seen a turnaround like this so quickly, at least in a negative sense, where Julius Randle went from a player who never again in New York City would have to buy a meal or a drink to now being on the verge of, with his body language, with his lack of performance, with the team losing, possibly being moved in the not too distant future. So he can change that, by the way. He can change the entire narrative around his career right now. It's up to him. Just play better and understand that the terms of engagement in New York are what they are. If you're not playing well and you're not winning, you're going to get booed. Derek Jeter got booed. He won 5 championships in New York. And I think beyond just performing, Randle has to understand that that is the deal in New York, and just accept it and move on.
So if he doesn't turn it around and play better, how much of the blame falls on head coach Tom Thibodeau?
Well, the head coach, everything on his watch, he is going to get credited for and blamed for. So he does deserve certainly his share of the blame for not connecting with and inspiring Randle to play at a higher level. But ultimately, it does go back to the player himself. Randle is the one most responsible for the way he's playing and not performing on the court right now. But Tibbs is one of the better coaches in the league. But very good coaches, just like very good players, sometimes they have bad years. Right now, Tom Thibodeau is having a bad year by his standards, and I think even he would admit that. And there's still some golf to be played here, so that can change. But right now, that starting lineup is an absolute disaster. And I think Tibbs needs to fix that and try to do something fairly dramatic here, or else this season, I think the Knicks right now won't even make the play-in tournament, never mind reach one of the top 6 seeds in the regular portion of the playoffs.
Thank you, Ian. Great article, and we will keep you all posted.